some moderation help. I think this just might be. I don't know, because it doesn't do that on my phone. That's funny. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? What's the vibe? Let me know down in the chat. I do want to know, guys. So please let me know how y'all doing, how y'all feeling. Okay. February's month of energy is going to be expansive. Okay. It's going to be massive, right? And it's definitely going to have an effect. Whether you're taking care of yourself, doing your shadow work, right? Making sure you're meditating, staying up on your divinity work, right? Your protection, okay? All of that is going to be very important this month, okay? Got the eclipse, got the don't know about solar flares for sure. I'll let y'all know back on that one. There's a retrograde coming up this month as well. I'll let y'all know exact dates. I think it's coming up. What is this week? This is the week of the. So I think next week ish, around that time, around the 20 somethings, the retrograde is going to be going into effect, right? So if you haven't been doing your shadow work, right, meditating, okay, keeping up with your protection, right now is the time to go ahead and lock in. All right. Um, let's go ahead and do our meditation really fast here, okay? Chilling. I am going to redo my nail set. But if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, right, this is your time to ask. Okay, time to get it out there. You want to talk about something specific within your spiritual journey, you can do that as well. But join me in a comfortable seat for right now. Okay, so we can do this quick meditation. All right, so we can get into today's live. All right. So when you're ready, when you found that comfortable seat, whether that's laying down or sitting up like I am in a chair, okay, you're going to have our palms facing the sky. And we're going to take in a few deep breaths here, okay, really centering ourselves inward. When you're ready, we're going to inhale through the stomach, the rib cage, hold at the top, and then exhale with a big sigh. We're going to do 3 of these really good ones, okay? Very intentional, each one. And we're going to begin with the inhale. Feel the stomach and rib cage. Hold. Let it out with a sigh. 2 more, just like that. Inhale. Hold. Let it out with a sigh. Last one. You can do it at your own pace. You don't have to do it with me. We're going to inhale. Hold. Sigh it out. Alrighty. Still keeping our focus on our breath. We are going to use some visualization to help us ground our energy. When you're ready, you're going to imagine your aura shining all around you. Get in the habit of filling out what color your aura is and seeing it clearly around your body. It can be point of view or someone else's point of view at you. However it comes through. And when you're ready, we're going to imagine all that lovely energy going through the soles of our feet, creating a bridge all the way to the Earth's core, Mother Gaia's soul, becoming one with her presence, with her energy, more like remembering you are one with her presence and energy. And when you're ready, take your time here. No need to rush or move when I move, okay? Remember, the more times, the more frequent you do this exercise, the easier it gets to speed up the pace, to know what you're looking for, what you're looking to feel during this time. But when you are ready, you're going to bring all that lovely energy back up the bridge, through the soles of your feet, all the way up, all the way through the seven chakras, stopping at the crown of your head. Okay, your crown chakra. And we're going to create a bridge all the way up to the sun's core. As above, so below. The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. The Father, the Mother, the Child. The red wire, the blue wire, the grounding wire. When you're ready, you're going to bring all that lovely energy back through the crown of your head, all the way to your heart chakra, and you're going to balance the physical realm, balance the spiritual realm. As you are all and nothing at the same time. Duality. And when you're ready, we're going to wiggle our toes, wiggle our fingers, and then we're gonna shake it out. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Shake it out. And then we'll open our eyes and we'll be here now. Welcome in, welcome in. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? Let me know down in the chat, okay? Hi. I'm probably gonna butcher that. Ofema. I don't know if the H is like an F sound there. I'm not sure, hun. But let me know, okay, so that I do get that correct. But you were asking if you can ask a yes or no question. We aren't doing any readings today, okay? We do readings on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and then if you need more help out of those 2 days from me, then you can always DM me, okay? I left the water like all the way back there. It's crazy. So today we're just going to be chilling. So if you just have any questions about your journey, okay, about life, right? You just want to talk about something, okay, get anything off your chest today, you can do that, right? I'm always there if you need a, thank you, James. I'm always there if you need a shoulder to lean on, okay? Hi guys, how you doing? How you feeling? Thank you, George Scott. Oh, read that wrong. Gregory Scott. How you doing? How you feeling? Let me know down in the chat. So yeah, um, we do meditate Monday, Tuesdays, and Fridays. Okay, so the live. Hi Claire, how you doing? How you feeling? Let me know down in the chat. We are not doing any tarot readings today. Okay, um, that's not what we do on Tuesdays on our live streams. Okay, we do collective readings on Wednesdays and we do personal readings on Thursdays. Okay, that's what we're gonna follow. That's what it's gonna stay. Okay, unless the entire schedule changes, because how many times have we changed that schedule in the last year? Right, so it really depends on what the divine has going for us, right? Like it really depends, but hopefully for the next few months that's the schedule. Okay, I mean those things have always been incorporated into the schedule, it just switches days, so it really just depends. Y'all know I am a full-time college student, right? So it just really depends on what's going on in my schedule, right? I know we really had to switch up the schedule because I did break my ankle. Spirit telling me to slow my behind down, right? So that, yeah, so that did change the schedule a little bit, right? So there was like a lot of changes. But if you stay in the if you're in the honorary soul tribe family, right, if you are in the subscription on TikTok, then you do know about the changes before they happen. Okay, I do try to keep them updated, just like how I have changes coming to the YouTube channel that I will be posting to the subscription videos. There will, of course, be a portion of the video that is, everyone can see, but it will mainly be for everybody in the honorary soul tribe family. Okay. An honorary just means you're willing to invest more time, attention, energy, currents of chi into the channel. Okay. It does not mean you are better than any of our soul tribe family members. It just means that you are putting in more work. That's all. Like you're putting in more than, liking, commenting, sharing, right? Like of course, that is all welcomed here and very highly grateful for it. Like I just said, honorary does not make you better than, it just means you're investing more, right? Time, energy, right? You're investing currents of chi. So it's all, you're just doing more for the brand, right? For our mission for world peace. Okay. Because unfortunately I can't bring a child into this realm unless we get to the 5D Earth timeline, right? And we are on track for it. Like we are on track for it, but I cannot bring a child to this realm unless we are on the 5D timeline fully played out, right? Otherwise, it just no, I can't. Past life stuff there that would keep, that has me like, nah, that's not a good idea until I see the planet has changed. Okay. um in the right direction, because my I will be raising my child as a mystic, so they will be definitely, I already know they're gonna have gifts, so I will be teaching them young about their gifts and everything like that, right? Of course, there's still going to be things they have to learn on their own, but that would be the goal there. But I'm not doing that if planet Earth doesn't take the right direction. You know what I'm saying? And if you care about planet Earth taking the right direction too, not even just for your kids, but because you want to live as the freest of the free, then our mission for world peace is for you, right? Because world peace isn't just some are free. World peace means everyone is free. Okay. And I tell y'all right now, y'all let this go down the 3D path. I will become a pirate. I will be this government's worst nightmare. Okay? I don't care. I already am magically, right? Energetic wise, I am already a problem for them. But okay, I will become a physical problem for them if we don't get to the 5D planet. Which, like I said, we're on track on, which I'm not worried about. But it's only that. There's only two options. Either I live my best life or I'm taking this government down with the rest of this lifetime. Okay, there's only two options, right? There is only two options, and I'm not. And when I say government, I want y'all to understand something. When I say government, I'm not just talking about the United States government. I don't care about them. They're only one part of the cog. I'm talking about the world government, right? When I say government, I mean the world government. Okay. Can't tell me there's no world government because there's a World Bank. Can't tell me there's no world government because there is international police. You can't tell me there's no such thing as the world government because literally there's so much evidence to there being a world government. And as we can see, Israel owns America and has owned them for a long time. I mean, United States of America, when they sold DC, right, it was all a business plan, right? This has been in the works for generations, right? It's just things that are now coming to light. And because they told y'all. That's the reason. That's the reason it's only just now coming to light. That's the reason why we are only just now finding out about it as an entire collective, right? Is because they told y'all. Don't told everybody already what was gonna go down, what they want to happen. Right? They told everybody all that already. Told y'all in all these movie shows and all these television shows what exactly they plan to do to humanity. Okay, they didn't lie, they didn't stutter, they put it in a TV show and called it entertainment, and we believed them. Right? Don't say you never believed them because I didn't go through my journey until I was 18, right? So 1 to 18, I so wholeheartedly believed them. You know what I'm saying? Like that they were just movies, right? That there was just, how could this ever happen, right? But at the same time, it's always like in your subconscious, in the back of your mind, like, oh, what if this does happen, right? And then it's crazy because then something reflects it in the reality, and then it's like, that movie talked about that. Yeah. You see how you said you knew this was gonna happen because you watched that movie? Mm. That's the Carnelian law, folks. You knew because you watched the movie, right? Which is why I'm not gonna be. It's really hard to find a good movie these days, guys, because it's like, what isn't just subliminal messaging to create a timeline that they want? You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, okay, shoot, if I can find a good movie, I find a good movie. But it's like, oh my goodness, they just telling us everything in our faces. Like they're still doing this. This is why I feel like the movies have gone downhill, especially after COVID. Like because it was like, what do we tell them? We're basically caught up to the point in history that's gonna all matter one day, right? Like we're living through this right now, observing it, right? But at like one day in the future, this is gonna be the time in history they talk about, right? A time in her story that they talk about on this planet for generations, right? So it's very important. I don't say to pay attention, but the movies, right, have definitely gotten a lot worse. Like they don't know what to do anymore. Like swear to you, occult Hollywood doesn't know what to do with the movies anymore. They're just pushing anything out at this point. Um, right, because if they would just stop making it about telling us things, right? I mean, would we really have movies and TV shows? Because all of our consciousnesses are connected as one, right? So anything any one of us experiences or processes in our brain is all connected to God consciousness, right? So those thoughts we get in, right? And I always use the example of, which one did I just grab out of? Was it this? Hold on, guys. Okay. So the example I use, right, when explaining God consciousness, right, this example stuck out to me because my professor wasn't even telling it in this format. Like my biology foundations professor was explaining it as like Darwin had an idea, other guy had an idea, you know what I'm saying? So he wasn't really explaining it in the sense that because of God consciousness it is possible for an idea to go from one person to another person, right? And when he told the story, because it was about evolution, right? He's a biological foundations professor, so it was about biology and evolution, right? And what you call it? He was saying how Darwin had the theory of evolution in his belt, like under like been researching it for decades, like about like 30 years before he published his research, right? And this other scientist who I don't remember their name, but this other scientist who was close, knew of Darwin, right? Was, out in the woods one day when the thought, right? No, that's just intuition. That was just God consciousness working. The thought went into him about evolution too and how everything works, right? And he sent a letter to Darwin saying, "Hey, I heard you were like researching evolution based theories, right? And I want to run past my theories to you because I was in the woods one day and had a whole eureka moment, epiphany just went off, like, oh my goodness, this is how God did it." And boom, right? And which is why Darwin didn't want to publish his research, because he was very grounded in his religion, right? So he didn't want it to make it seem, but God universe gives us clues to how everything was created all the time. So like through energy, obviously, and energy evolves itself, right? It is living. Okay, so but anywho, back to the story before I get on a whole nother tangent. Right, so Darwin, like, he was a good sport about it. Okay, this is like a person who came through about to steal his 30 years of research by getting to the punchline first, right? Getting, getting his stuff published before Darwin did. So Darwin went to, have somebody mediate again between them, and they went to one of the Matrix Society conventions for science, right, where they just, international stuff, right? And they had it like both explain their findings, okay, and Darwin is the one that got his, the credit for for becoming aware of evolution. Let's be correct. Didn't discover anything, became aware of it. Right. So, he became aware of evolution. But the point of the story is that if Darwin kept sitting on that research, right? If he kept sitting on that research, God universe was going to plant the seed, the idea in somebody else's head and have them take care of it, right? So this is why I do tell you guys, if an idea comes to your head, right, and you're just like, oh, that's the universe pushing you, and you should listen, because it will go to someone else if you don't. Right now, universe will is good for spinning back. If you really want what's yours, universe is good for spinning back. Okay, but you still you have to prove it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta prove it that you want it. You gotta do the work. Okay, it's that's with anything. You're gonna have to show the universe that you truly want what's yours, right? Like it's already yours, but you can't become a millionaire and you doing absolutely nothing every day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't get the job you want and you're not even putting yourself out there. Like, cause and effect, guys. What you put in is what you get out. If you're not putting anything in, then what are you expecting to get out? Nothing. You should be expecting nothing if you're putting in nothing, right? If you're putting in everything, then you should expect everything, right? Sorry, guys. Trying to make sure I'm getting the right size. But yeah, that's basically the point of that story. But that like is the example I always come back to when it comes to God consciousness and how it's possible for us to get the same ideas, right? Get similar thoughts, be connected through each other's thoughts, right? Telepathy works, right? Because we all share one telepathy work, right? So it's just energy being conducted through. It's like think of it as God consciousness, right? And with telepathy, right? It's just a telephone, right? It's an energetic wire that connects you to someone else's brain, right? And you are basically using a telephone. I mean, telephones literally map out, right? They come from such a spiritual concept as in telepathy, right? That's why it's called telephone. Spirit said that. that that was good. Spirit said that's why it's called telephone. No, that's a crazy one. Oh my goodness. Sorry, that got me. Oh my god. Oh, that's funny. Is telepathy. Telepathy is the spiritual concept of a telephone, and that's why they call it a telephone. Tele. Oh my goodness. The dots for that connected so hard, guys. When Spirit just said that, I was like, oh, why do those words, why are they so similar? So I'm just now noticing that. And that's a plain confirmation. I'm done, guys. I got whatever message Spirit needed me to get out today. Telepathy, telephone, it's the spiritual concept versus the physical concept. Where do you think they got one or the other from? That's like saying which came first. Obviously, telepathy came first, right? Telepathy came first. Telephones came after. However, if you break down the words, now we're getting into etymology, and it's like, wait a second. Path, phone. PH. We gotta break down into the connotations and the denotations. Okay, I'm gonna have to research this, but on the top of my head, right? No, but I'm gonna have to research it because now I'm intrigued. Now I'm intrigued on why Spirit would just say that because that makes like so much sense. It's funny. That is funny. That like caught me so off guard, guys. Because like I said, Spirit will just randomly say things to me. Okay, it's that clear audience working already, and then it just be random. Okay, it's always when it's needed. Okay, to be said, right? But I have no control over when Spirit is just like, let me interject in the conversation for a bit. Yeah, so yeah. I feel like that is how I was guided to do research on a lot of things, right? Because Spirit was like, oh yeah, what about this? And you're like, let me take a quick trip over here to see what this is. You know, technically Tuesdays is lesson day. But today we're vibing, okay? And the cord is caught on the light. Okay. Let us go. I just want to see the etymology first. Tele I like how telepathy comes up. I like telepathy comes up before telephone, like, and I just put telly in it. Oh my goodness, television. Hold on. We got to get to the root, the first part of this word here, the suffix, prefix, sorry, of the word tele. You're right. I just want to see the TLE part. We're gonna have to go to telepathy itself, but see how it's literally grouping in teleprinter, telegraphed, telecopier, talkie, like a walkie talk. Okay, whatever, and television, right? So let's go to telepathy and see if it takes me. Basically, feeling from afar, but tele like TELE is mainly for something afar. Okay, but I want to see. Yeah, so it all comes back to a Proto Indo European root meaning far in space or time. Some sources connect this root with KWEL, forming words to do with turning via the notion of completion of a cycle as well. Then there's a lot of words here that we just went over, like telekinesis. There's another one on here, telescope, right? Telemeter, right? So that's why it's very important for us to be breaking down these words and their meanings, right? Um, and trying to get as possible as we can to their original roots of the words. Hi Texas, how you doing? How you feeling? Let me know down in the chat, okay? We are not doing yes or no questions today. Tuesdays is usually just the lesson day, right? We only do yes or no questions on Thursdays, okay? If you have a question that is urgent, you can always DM me, okay? TikTok, Instagram, uh, you can email me. That's also in my link tree. And what's the last one is Discord. Yes, Discord is also a great place to go ahead and reach out to me. Um, as well as connect with other like-minded individuals in our soul tribe, okay? So, yeah, but like we already went over Telly, which then got us into the key WEL. Oh, be like that. Um, I think this is as far as this website is going to take us today. Let's see. Connotation and denotation of the word telepathy. All right. So the denotation, which is the like broken down real definition of telepathy is the direct non-physical transfer of thoughts, feelings, or information between minds without using known sensory channels or physical interactions. The connotation, right, this is what it's been blown up as, right? It implies paranormal abilities, science fiction, superpowers, mind reading, or deeply emotional connection, often viewed by the scientific community as pseudoscience due to lack of evidence, right? That breaks it down. Why, what definition is better for this word is the denotation, because that's actually how it works, okay? Um, the connotation is how it's got all this extra um, mumbo jumbo wording to confuse people about it. Okay. Yeah. We already did the etymology part, but I didn't want to do, I don't want to do the denotation and the connotation. Okay. Literal meaning versus cultural association. Okay. That's a better word for it. Yeah. Um, so yeah, if you want to know more about like basically being aware enough to like look up the etymology of words, look up their connotation and their denotation, right? Then watch the video on etymology that's in the Boss Up playlist, right? I watched it like 2024. You know, I have not shut up about etymology and the connotation and denotations of words, okay? Um so yeah, Dino, I think I like that. It's like when you like understand it, but then you try to go to explain it, and it's like, I don't know if I'm saying this in a way that's gonna like help everybody, but yeah, that did help, right? The literal meaning of a word versus the cultural representation of the word. So denotation versus connotation. Then when you get the literal meaning of the word, right, the actual definition of the word, when you do the denotation, when you break down the word, when you do etymology to break up the prefix and the suffix, right, and you take it apart, and then they have roots that like the website that I use that I have linked before in our videos, okay, they show you where those roots originated from and how we got to the word in its cultural today, right? Versus literally when you do etymology, you're going to see what it started out as, what it originally meant, versus the connotations it goes into. So it literally, that website, I think, that's what I like about it the most, is that it shows you the denotation, but it also like shows you the connotations of the word. Now you would have to know that's what they're doing when you're reading it, because it does not clarify that, right? It just lets you know how the word has transformed itself in the last few hundred years. Like I said, words have changed their meaning 10 times over, okay, especially in the last 2,000 years, right? 10 times over, okay. And then going from Latin to English, right, going from another language to, oh wait, guys, I forgot these have numbers on them. Going from I forgot my train of thought that fast. It's like that. That's the neurodivergent, guys. Um, my brain will start on a whole different tangent, and it has nothing to do with anything. Well, I won't say that. Sometimes it actually like really does go into what I'm talking about, but you know, sometimes I just like get distracted with what I'm doing, and it's like train of thought gone. All right, we were chugging along, chugga 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 chugga. Then we came to one stop, and it was like the train no longer works. Huh? Already? We gotta resurface the train. Uh, it's okay, guys. Uh, I will find the thought. It will come back when it's necessary for it to come back. Hmm, hmm, hmm. But yeah. Okay. I kind of remember what we were talking about. All right, so yeah, use use that video I put into the playlist, okay, to help you guys with etymology and then understanding connotation and denotation of words, okay, is going to help you out a lot. In the Boss Up playlist, okay, that's our conscious library, has a bunch of books or videos on topics that we explore together here, or you can ask me about anytime in the Discord chat, because if we can't talk about it on the live because they're like, that's misinformation. And you're like, sure, tell us anything, right? So then we go on Discord, okay? But yeah, no. We can talk about most things on the live, but some things, okay, the Matrix just isn't going to allow to slide. All right. Like whenever I brought up Jeffrey Epstein, right? So y'all remember that. I think there's a YouTube live recording of my face when I brought it up and the TikTok live went down and I was like, y'all saw that. I think I showed the camera on YouTube. I was like, look at them. They literally took my live down. But yeah, good times on TikTok. They won't let you talk about the real stuff or anything. Especially when it pertains to, you know, them hurting our kids and stuff. They don't want us talking about that. It's crazy, but that's why I like YouTube. Just a tad bit. Don't You gotta make sure none of them get a big head. You know what I'm saying? Give them too much power and they think they can just nah. I'm good. Um, but what you call it? Yeah. So we can't talk about that here. If you want to talk more stuff pertaining like things with the Epstein files, or if you need help like meditating and everything, grounding yourself, getting your nervous system back in check, especially after reading the Epstein files, right? Then you can come talk to me in the Discord channel and we can talk it out, okay? That's what I would suggest for there. So, you know, TikTok can't monitor our conversations. Okay. So I read you, if you do read the Epstein files, right, and you want to talk to me about it, join our Discord channel. Okay. I can't talk about it live, right? And y'all already know why. But uh we can talk about it in our own personal spaces, okay? Um trying to bring attention to it when I've brought so much attention to it over the years, right? At this point, I'm like, whenever y'all ready, I'm ready. At this point, I'm just trying to live my best life. Whenever y'all ready, I'm ready. Okay, so y'all want to build a new reality for one another, for all, right? Then let's do that. Okay, once you're ready, I'm been ready. You know what I'm saying? I've been waiting patiently for y'all to take out these corrupt powers. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be ready to take out the corrupt powers and even go a little deeper in finding out it wasn't just the corrupt powers. You know what I'm saying? But when y'all ready, y'all are ready. Okay? And I'm sorry, but planet Earth is way more fun than this dull ass BS we got right now. Okay? Working until you perish? Really? 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 I know you're lying. I know you're lying. That's so boring. No, we're not doing that. We can't keep doing that, y'all. Like I said, world peace. or I'm a pirate. Simple as that. It's as simple as that. It's really simple. It's like it's I really don't have uh many like options of what I really wanted to do in my life. Like content is my life. This is what I wanted to do. Like I wanted like it's changed forms, yes, but like this is what I've always wanted to do. And I've known God was taking me on this path since I was literally 9 years old. I just thought it was like a different form of this because this, content wasn't huge when I was a kid, right? Making your own content and everything, that wasn't like a huge thing when I was a kid. So I'm thinking like, oh, you mean like making movies, making TV shows, you know what I'm saying? Doing this, doing that, right? Just not what God meant at all. But that's what I took it as. You know what I'm saying? And hey, I was wrong, but I was also right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it was like, yes, I was on the right path, but it would have been a whole different reality if I went down the other path, right? So, um, yes, like I said, content is something I know I wanted to do and create since I was 9 years old, right? And if this world, which, like I said, we are on the track for world peace, so all we're talking is in hypotheticals, okay? If that were what I want to do on this planet, right, were to not be an option anymore because, freedom of speech and everything gets taken away, I promise you I'm gonna be a pirate. Promise you. Okay? And I will be as bad as Luffy. Okay? And that's how that will go. Right. So how it is. Let me know how y'all doing, how y'all feeling in the chat. If y'all want to talk about anything, y'all know I'll be talk. Okay, talk for days. But yeah, if you want to talk about anything regarding like the Epstein files and everything, please just let me know down in the chat. Okay. Well, like in the Discord chat. Okay. I forgot to file these nails. See, what I wanted to do before I started this new nail set was file the nails back down, okay? And like I said, if y'all have questions, comments, concerns, you always feel free to ask them. Okay, we just vibing right now. Y'all know I do my own nails, okay? You know what I'm saying? It saves money, right? Like we about to be out here spending over $100 on nails that will literally break in a few weeks. Um, but I did want to fix this. Um, if I can. It'd be like that. I already glued it on and everything, so it's like if it does shave here, right? But yeah, guys. So, a lot of spiritualists are speaking out on what's going on, but like we've been speaking out on what's been going on for years. You know what I'm saying? Like we've been telling the world what was going on behind the shadows and the scenes this entire time for years on years on years on years. I mean, if you even want to take it back to Jesus, right? We can, okay? Because for years, when I say for years, I mean thousands and thousands and thousands of years, okay? Not just this civilization that we have built up now, right? I'm saying, okay, psychics, mystics, seers, right? They have been talking on this information for years. Okay, we're talking about this modern civilization that we have built, right? This matrix, okay? Then yeah, right? We years. It's not just like, oh, a year or two. No, every chance they got, they said something. You know what I'm saying? And me as well. When I started my journey, you know what I'm saying? I was speaking out on these things. Okay, even though like at the time, I had to stop because I was still learning a lot of information. So it was like speaking on this right now is not helping, right, the collective as a whole. So like I said, I took my break from content and I came back later on after I needed to learn what was necessary for me to learn at that time. Like I said, I'm not perfect. It is still every day a learning journey, an evolving journey, a growing journey. Okay. But right, the things that we were discussing when it comes to like the Epstein files about aliens, about things in that regard. Okay. um, I have been speaking on those things since 2021, right? This is like shortly after my awakening. So it's like, and it's like, that's the beginning of 2021, right? So I've been speaking on these things for a long time. And it's, like I said, psychics, seers, oracles, right? Everyone has been warning the collective, has been trying to prepare the collective, trying to get them in the right headspace, the right energetic space, right? Has been doing the work so that we could eventually be where we're at today, right? But also move on to bigger and better. Alrighty. Like I said, this planet's not boring. There's a lot of fun things to do on this planet and use energy in a way that is going to, yes, keep this planet alive for billions of more years, right? That's the thing they don't want us to know, is that this planet has the potential to live out for billions of more years. But if we keep hurting it, right, or they keep digging into things, or doing whatever they're doing behind our backs, right? Not gonna get too into it because you know how TikTok is. So things they're doing behind our back, right? Destroying the planet, right? Telling us that energy isn't free, right? Or that we don't have free energy to control the things that go on this planet, to shape our realities on this planet, right? They have lied to us about how timelines worked, right? About how dimensions work. They have lied to us about this galaxy as a whole, okay, over and over and over again, because they wanted us to think this planet was boring. They wanted us to think that existing was boring, right? And you're like, what? Yes, working until you perish is freaking boring as heck. I don't know what to tell you, gang. I don't know what to tell you. I'll hold your hand when I say it, but I don't know what to tell you. Other than working until you perish is boring. That's not how this planet was supposed to go, in the sense of how like we were able to accomplish things and achieve things, right? Because people are pyramids built, like they didn't even have any of the stuff we have today. So you just thinking you're supposed to work until you perish, huh? You still thinking you're supposed to work until you perish. That's the crazy part. That's the crazy part to me, right? But people don't understand how the pyramids got there, right? How did such big heavy blocks of sand, you know what I'm saying, get on top of each other to create, you know what I'm saying? If you're still having a hard time like understanding that, then makes sense why you would believe that, working until you perish was the best choice, when it's actually not. It has never been. Okay, it doesn't even make sense for humanity. Like, we are too intricate, too complicated to be sitting at a desk all day, or to be, out over stressing and overworking our bodies, right? Like, they know this. This is why they keep the health system like they do in the United States of America, because like, oh, if you break down, you just go to the hospital. Oh, but you got to pay. So you got to keep going to that job if you want to pay for that hospital. Oh, that the stuff you got from the hospital is still messing up your system. It's not allowing your temple to be clean and pure. Boom, okay, you're going back to that job to hurt your body even more, stressing your body out. Now you got cancer. I don't want to wish it on nobody, but you know what I'm saying? All of that stress that you're holding into your body, all that pain that you're putting on your body working those jobs, it builds up and it adds up in your body. You know what I'm saying? And then you go to these hospitals that is not free, so you got to keep working that job that is hurting you, right? And boom, get the stuff that's just a placebo, okay? And that placebo is supposed to help when it just mediates, right? It doesn't actually heal, but it mediates whatever is going on with you at the time, right? So hi Zoe, how you doing? How you feeling? We aren't doing any personal readings today, hun, okay? But it sounds interesting if you want to talk about it. You don't gotta give us too many details, but you know, say if you want to talk about it, just let me know, okay? And if spirit just channels something for me to tell you, then shoot, it is what it is. But like I said, all of that stress that you put on your body, right? It affects your fight or flight, right? How your nervous system functions, okay? And over time, what do you think is going to happen to your body? You're going to deteriorate, right? It's going to force deterioration on your body because you're putting so much work, so much pressure on your body, right? Your nervous system doesn't know how to not live in survival mode when you do that, right? Like it's always trying to go, always trying to survive, right? The conditions is been put in, like, and it doesn't matter if you're the poorest of poor or the richest of rich. If you are doing that to your body, it's gonna have an effect, okay? um so yeah, be aware of that. Did I have another point to make right now? We'll see if it comes to me. But how y'all doing? How you feeling? And thank you, Mushy. Boom, love bomb. Thank you for the gifts. I'm highly appreciative and highly grateful for them, dear. Thank you so much. See, I was about to cut this. I think I'm going a tad bit longer because I had them like basically the length of my like real nail, and that's why I wanted to like file my real nail down some more so it wasn't that length. But I think I might go a little taller than last time. All right, so let me know how y'all doing, how y'all feeling down in the chat. I do want to know, okay? All right, I am interested in you guys' journeys. Okay, so if there's anything you want to share, anything you want to talk about, just let me know. Okay. Not a frozen tundra. Some of y'all can feel like you're on ice. Slipping through life. I don't know why Spirit said I had to make a bar out of that, but so if there's anything y'all need to talk about, let me know down in the chat. Now, if I can get this nail the length I need it. Eventually. What else? What else, guys? I mean, today we were supposed to be vibing, but y'all already know I'm already. I get to talk and I'm finna teach something. I'm gonna talk about something and it ends up into a whole lesson. Right, so just how I am, guys. Let's see. So we talked about. Oh, that's why we were talking about that. Okay, thank you, Spirit, because I lost my train of thought. That's that neurodivergency I be telling y'all about. Okay, so Right, the basically, right, Earth is not meant to be so boring, right? It genuinely, yes, this is a place where we come and learn our lessons, but there are so many different mystical things that we could do on this planet with energy, right? And we can create a world like never before seen on this planet, because maybe not this timeline, but right, not the current timeline that we're on and all the past we've seen, but future wise, yes, but past wise, no. So what was I going? Yeah. So yeah, with all this working until you perish, right? Has made this planet dull, right? It's made life dull for individuals because that's not what you were supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know the Bible has been rewritten 5 million times, right? We know that the words in it have been changed, meanings, connotations, denotations, etymology of the word, right? The original meaning, okay, it has changed thousands and thousands of times over the last 2,000 years alone, right? We know the story has been misconstrued, the message has been misconstrued, misrepresented, but however, the Garden of Eden was the truth, right? A place where we could do what we wanted to do. We could chill here. We had all the food. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, this planet literally creates everything a human needs to survive. So why are people surviving? I'm confused. Instead of thriving, you know what I'm saying? That's the confusion in my head. That, like, everybody should be thriving because the planet already creates everything we need to survive, right? Now we started living in houses and stuff like that. So yeah, we gotta build houses and stuff like that. So you know you're not it's out on the street, but hey, even out on the street, you still have everything you need if you're in the right area. I mean, if we had more female trees than male trees, right? We would definitely, homelessness wouldn't be as bad in the sense that we know they would be able to get a meal whenever they needed to, right? They'd be able to eat whenever they needed to, right? Because of the fact that the trees are feminine and they actually have a reproduction system, right? Male trees produce oxygen, and that's about it. That's about it, right? That's why you don't see a lot of female trees in the United States of America, right? You see a lot of male trees that produce oxygen, and that's about it, right? But you don't see a lot of female trees, okay? Female trees produce the fruit, okay, the vegetable, right? They are the ones that are going to actually reproduce and, be plentiful, but not the male trees, okay? And like I was saying, like I said, we need to destroy, like, end homelessness anyway, but it's different if they had uh women, like female trees instead of the men trees, right? If they had the female species of the tree, at least we know were getting food for free off the trees. You know what I'm saying? But because they can't, because it's only male trees, right? Then they're not. We don't know. We're not. They're not guaranteed a meal. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we gotta end homelessness. But if we had more female trees, that's a guaranteed meal for anybody that walks by that tree. Okay. I mean, if you're gonna harvest it, you know what I'm saying? If you're gonna climb up that tree and get you some, then you know what I'm saying, then climb up the tree and get you some, right? But most of the time, you know what I'm saying, or wait till it falls, gravity. But in the United States of America, you are not going to find a feminine tree, okay? A tree that can reproduce, and make fruits and vegetable, make, whatever it's designated to make. No, there's not no vegetable trees, but y'all know what I meant. So it's going to make the fruits, right, and it's going to produce them. You can harvest them from the tree directly or wait for them to grow and fall to the ground because of gravity, right? So however you choose, is just that if we had more female trees, right, a lot of people wouldn't just rely on the government for groceries, right? These big supermarkets and stuff, right? There'd be other options to getting food. However, they don't do that. They don't do that, and it's it's like, okay. I mean, when you're like driving past big roadways and stuff like that, okay, right? Because it's gonna be a lot of fruit on the roads, right? You can even get the animal population to be out of balance with the human population um, to food that way, right? So there's a lot of reasons. However, the government's reasons aren't good. You know what I'm saying? So I understand in like spaces where you're like got a highway, you don't want that many trees where you got the highway because animals are gonna be all over that road trying to eat the free food, right? But it doesn't make sense in residential areas where you can actually have feminine trees because people have yards, people have fences, right? There's ways to protect um, the fruit on the trees. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't really make sense in that regard, right? But it does, like, on like things like the highway, the freeway, you know, the interstate, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. Like, okay, you don't want feminine trees over here? Coolio, right? That's just on the highways, freeways, interstates. Cool, I get it. You don't want the animal population to come towards where all the roads are. In a sense, like, you know, the big roads that have all the people on it and barely any, you know, I wouldn't say barely any, but no like traffic lights or anything like that to really control traffic on the sense of in the sense of like how it is on the street. Okay, so uh trying to think. Okay, so example is if you ever watched like Jurassic Park or anything like that, um any of the Jurassic Park movies, right? You you see, I think it's the newest one. The newest one, what you notice is that the dinosaurs are literally like coexisting in civilization, right? And yeah, they get caught up and tangled in like all the wiring and telephone, all the wires that they got around. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, that's another thing we should get into. Oh my goodness, 5G. They weren't slick with that, right? They went from what is it like 2G, 3G, 4G. They had to stabilize 5G. They just had to make sure they could get 5G out in an appropriate amount of time. How long has 5G come out and they not talking about the 6G? Y'all hear them talking about a 6G coming out? Nah, they just need to make sure the 5G came out. You know what I'm saying? Slow progression to make it look like the 5G energy that they're trying to produce didn't come out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Small progression. 2, 3, all the way 4, 5G. You know what I'm saying? Haven't heard about 6G yet. Right? You would think like the iPhones, the G's would keep going up. Right? I don't know. If you guys find right, like, are they even planning a 6G because they were really hoping the 5G would work? Right? So it's really it's a lot of battles, right? 5D versus 5G. Okay. The energies are definitely like, In Africa? Are you from Africa or are you saying you've heard of a higher service than 5G, right? Because I would think the next is 6, right? But they got these towers everywhere. Anytime I see them working on those towers, I'm like, oh, Matrix Society is gearing up to do something with these towers. Mm-hmm. We can keep thinking it's a joke, but it's not. All right, so let's clip it here. Uh, but yeah, guys. So okay. Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, guys. I am going to head out now. But yeah, you know, it's always a good time vibing with y'all. Tomorrow we are going to be doing our collective reading. Okay, so I want to say 9:30 a.m. but we'll see. We'll see. What God Universe has in store. Okay. Just know that we do try to make it 9:30 a.m. and we do when the universe allows. Okay. Okay. So y'all have a blessed day. I love you guys. Okay. Remember, we speak love, justice, and peace. Y'all have a blessed day. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Okay. Or next time, whenever you join us again. And we're gonna try to see if I can get this done at the same time.